Were we recording that whole time? No.
What? How did you screw this up? Swingers. Okay, well, I guess those 2 deaths, 3 deaths aren't going to get added to the death counter then?
And that whole shrine?
Yeah, you didn't see a shrine either, Swingers. So last episode we decided to go to the salamanders. I looked at the counter too. I saw the clock going up. The clock doesn't go up while it's paused, does it?
It totally does.
That's so dumb. Swingers has screwed this up. Anyway, so I guess I'll restart. Swinger, last time, you didn't hear it, but I was talking about Blackbeard from One Piece. And so I'm not going to do that again because Seth was barely paying attention the first time. And now there's going to be even less reason for him to engage.
Yes.
Which makes it less fun for everyone.
No, I can still somewhat engage. But you were talking about Blackbeard, he had gravity powers.
No, he does not have gravity powers. There's a different fruit specifically for gravity. It's just the darkness has powers that look a lot like gravity.
Okay. But you also said he has white beards.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just completely restart and run through this. So, Swingers, for those of you that don't know, in One Piece there's these things called the Devil Fruits. They're what give you your special powers. Luffy ate the Gum Gum fruit, so he's a rubber man. His brother Ace ate the Flare Flare fruit, so he's a fireman.
I think how it's called Flare Flare.
Yeah, kind of actually really annoyed me that it's called the Flare. And when they dubbed it, they made it the Flare Flare fruit instead of the Fire fruit. Or why they still feel the need to have the double wording, but whatever. Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, aka Whitebeard, partially based off Blackbeard, ate the Quake fruit so he can make earthquakes in the sky.
Because, you know, old man in anime has to be super badass.
Dude, Seth, dude who ate magma fruit punches him in the chest, right? And then inflates his inner body with magma a little bit and loses the fight. Magma Man lost that fight after he punched a hole in old man's chest and poured lava in it.
I mean, what's a little lava to somebody who can make earthquakes?
Painful. How do you...
Why do I have to go around the long way?
No, I think both ways were gonna work. It's just they were spinning it the same direction.
I have to get over there now.
Oh, I don't think you're gonna make Swingers. So yeah. So you eat a fruit, you get its powers. Now, 2 things to know. Probably more than that, but we're gonna start with 2. That you have to stay on this side.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
What for?
To press the button.
No, I don't. I have to go over here.
But how are you gonna get the button pressed?
By being over here.
But the water's high now, so the button can't be pressed.
Well, that it's over the button. Also, I need to magnesis it over the button. Or, I can just use magnesis to hit the button.
Then why didn't you just do that in the first place?
Wait, can I not?
You missed. I'm pretty sure. Right there. Downwards, directly downwards.
Nope, that's not working.
Yeah.
So I just need to place it on top. Hopefully it doesn't float away.
Well, flow straight up. So then, Swingers, an individual can only eat 1 devil fruit. If they try to eat 2, they explode and die. That is canon fact. Rob Lucci talks about it and how the world government experimented because they wanted to see if they could get people to eat more because that'd be super busted. And people exploded and died, so they stopped doing it. Even the world government's leading expert on these things, Vegapunk, I believe his name is, who is the one who is most likely going to explain exactly how devil fruits work to us. Because Oda, at one point, the author said, a certain scientist is going to explain exactly how devil fruits work. So it's probably Dr. Vegapunk, who we have yet to meet, is going to explain
Is he
it.
punkish?
We don't know. We haven't met him. We've seen a couple of his old labs, though.
All right, good.
So
All good things.
they're going to explain how the devil fruits work exactly. But what we do know is, as Rob Lucci, a world government worker, an important world government worker, says, you explode and die.
In that order.
No, you die first, then explode.
How rude.
Hi, Toto.
I don't hear her, but okay. Hi, Toto.
She showed up on your Switch.
Oh,
Yeah.
me big dumb.
That lock is so freaking loud.
Oh my god, it's so loud.
And the other thing, swingers, at any given point, so let's use the fire food as an example because it's a great example for this. There can only be one per. So when the devil fruit is available to be eaten, like the fire fruit,
Or hot singles in your area.
Shut up, Seth. There is only one of it in the world, and once somebody's eaten it, oh, that's a big Yiga.
Oh,
That's a big Yiga.
I think he's a Yida. Oh my god, he's a big boy.
Swingers, call us out as the loser in the comments for that awful joke.
Give me that toughness.
Anyways, so there's only one of. What in the dick hole?
I don't know.
If you just run away from him, he's not gonna fight you, right?
He can teleport after me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but he's not gonna do that forever. So
This is a great plan, Swingers.
yeah, actually, he's barely made any distance off that teleport. As soon as you find like a shrine to go to, you're safe.
Bitch.
Yeah, just keep running until he's just directly in front of you. Anyways, so once someone's eaten that fruit is out of the lottery. Like, no one else can get that fruit until said person who already ate it dies.
Right.
And then once that person dies, that fruit goes back into the pool of possible devil fruits. And it literally just turns a random fruit in the world into that specific devil fruit. So when Ace ate the flare fruit and became a fireman, nobody else could do it. And no one else could eat the flare fruit until he dies. And that fruit is back in the lotto.
All right.
Simple enough, right?
Yeah, no, like,
That way,
that makes sense to a degree.
then it gives a nice explanation for why there's no repeat powers.
For the most part.
And it also gives an explanation for why sometimes there are repeat powers. Like Bartolomeo, we find out is not the first user of the barrier fruit, but the previous user, when we see them, was in the past, and they are old as balls. So the assumption is, 20 years ago, there was a previous user, and at some point in the past 20 years before Bartolomeo got the power, that previous user died. And then, because they were really old, and then Bartolomeo eventually found that fruit and ate it.
Yeah.
Pretty simple stuff. Same with the one that Mr. 3 has. I forget his other name. Because we also find out that there was an old lady who had his power before him as well, which he touches you with his right hand, and then he touches himself with his left hand, and he transforms into you.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's a power that they actually have to overcome in one of the arcs of One Piece, because they find out they didn't realize he was their enemy at the time, and he was just showing them this cool trick he had, and so they all thought it was cool. So he touched every single one of the Straw Hats and was able to impersonate them perfectly. So they had to come up with a way to get around that, and they came up with a really smart way too.
What'd they do?
They put, like, they just tied cloth to their wrists, right?
Yeah.
And so the bad guys thought, hey, that means that to trick them into thinking we're on the same team, all the dude has to do is just tie a cloth to his wrist. And because the bad guys had seen it happen. And it didn't work because that's not all they did. Under that cloth, they had painted or marked an X on there. The plan was they'd show off that X if there was questioning of whether they were on the same team.
I see.
They were really smart.
Yeah.
But so we find out there was an old lady that had that power much in the past as well.
We also find out that there was no lady who swallowed a fly.
But so
I'm gonna discover this stable real quick.
okay, so Marshall D. Teach is a character in One Piece, and he's gonna be back at full health.
Yep, but I have a plan.
Is it to miss?
What? I jumped out of the way. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but he had more reach than you apparently. You didn't need to jump that time. Why did that tree behind him fall?
Why does he have so much health?
Because he's big. Big people have more health stats, it's a fact. Oh, that's great. He gets to just heal while he does that.
Oh.
Thank God he's doing less damage now, though. I swear, this is harder than the Wind Boss.
Yeah, because he moves faster. And he won't die. Just fucking die.
So Blackbeard was part of Whitebeard's crew for a while. Marshall D. Teach was part of Edward Newgate's crew. And while he was on the crew, he kind of tried to keep a low profile the entire time. Because he had a specific mission in mind. He joined Whitebeard's crew because he wanted to get a specific devil fruit, the dark fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he believed it was the most powerful devil fruit there was.
Was it?
Well, that's still up for debate, right?
Because, like, what if it's Luffy's? And nobody talks about it because, like, rubber's lame.
Who knows? But Marshall D. Teach figured he had the best chance of finding that fruit if he hung out with the most powerful pirate crew there was, which was Whitebeard's. Makes pretty good sense, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, a man named Thatch, who between Edward Newgate, Marshall D. Teach, and Thatch, those three are all based off real world Blackbeard. Thatch finds the dark fruit. And the rule on Whitebeard's ship is whoever finds the fruit gets to eat it. Seems pretty reasonable, right?
Yep.
Well, Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard, really, really wants that fruit. So
He wants it all up in him.
he kills his friend Thatch, his comrade Thatch, I should say, and steals the fruit, which is a big no-no in the pirate world, killing your comrades. Big no-no. So Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard, leaves the crew, which was part of the plan anyways, to go pursue his own goals.
Yeah.
And he, of course, eats the dark fruit. And the powers of the dark fruit are pretty vague. They allow you to suck your opponents towards you.
Zuck.
Yep. They also let you make this, like, giant well of darkness that absorbs things. And then you can use that well to spit them back out. And you have, like, an infinite holding area for them. So, like, you can absorb, like, lots of stuff and then hold them permanently and then kind of bring them back later and, like, destroyed and stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing it lets you do is it lets you, if you grab an opponent who has a devil fruit power, it allows you to 100% nullify that power. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you came up really short, didn't you?
Sure did.
Edward Newgate or Marshall D. Teach uses this set of powers to defeat Fire Fist Ace in combat. Oh boy, that is too far to the wrong side.
What? I aimed that shit.
Yeah, I would just spawn the new one.
This control stick is annoying the fuck out of me. Because I keep hitting the wrong button initially.
So, Marshall D. Teach beats Ace using that set of powers I listed already. And then your arrow seems to be nullifying what had the momentum you had built up.
No, it's aiming it too low.
Okay.
So I have to use the hammer.
Yeah, you just gotta center it better, Seth.
That's gonna take so long. This is gonna be such a boring episode for the swingers. Because I gotta, like, get perfectly centered on it. Like,
you had it the first time. I don't know how you screwed up twice now.
That's off. And that's also too much.
Is it, though? Okay, so just don't get it to the red, then. And you should be good. So... At the end of the war...
How many hits was that?
I didn't count it. Just don't do the full set. Boom, 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 boom. Stop.
Nope. I tried to stop. My aim was good there.
Yeah. So at the end of the War of the Best, Blackbeard and his crew kill Whitebeard. Whitebeard's got the Quake fruit powers. He's able to make earthquakes. I think I may have already mentioned this in this episode.
Yep.
And he can even make them in the sky because he's ridiculous. And so, Marshall D. Teach and his crew kill
Nope.
Whitebeard and then drop a shroud over the man's and do something to him. And we need an explanation of what happened. What we know is that after Blackbeard comes out from the shrine or the shroud with Whitebeard's corpse in it, Blackbeard now has both the dark fruit powers and the quake fruit powers, which should kill him. But he lives anyways. And we don't have an explanation for that yet. Now there's a fan theory out there called the Cerberus theory, where it's stated that they believe that Blackbeard actually had already eaten another devil fruit called the Cerberus fruit that allows him to transform into a Cerberus and gives him 3 heads. And their argument is that because he has 3 heads, each head gets to eat a different devil fruit, and therefore that somehow gets around the rule that an individual will die if they eat 3 fruit. Either each head just kind of allows that, or somehow each head gives you a new soul, which allows you to do that. My argument is that doesn't really make sense in lore, because it's not a head can only eat 1 devil fruit, and it's not like a soul can only eat 1 devil fruit. It's, as far as we know, an individual can only eat 1 devil fruit, and he's still just 1 individual.
Yeah.
So the evidence they use for him having eaten a 3rd fruit was that his Jolly Roger, his skull and crossbones, features 3 heads. In what looks to be a Cerberus formation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not an unfair piece of evidence in my book.
No.
But I don't think it's nearly enough to prove it when we don't have any, when most other evidence is either to the contrary or there's no supporting evidence.
Right.
So they'll claim that there's a big theme of the number 3 around Marshall D. Teach. He carries 3 flintlock pistols, right? And my argument is, even if he has 3 heads, how does that let him use 3 pistols? It's not like he has 3 arms. My other argument is, also, Zoro carries 3 swords, So, like...
That just might be a theme within One Piece itself.
Yeah, no, my point is, 3 pistols isn't strong evidence of having 3 heads when somebody has 3 swords and doesn't have 3 heads.
This guy again? No,
Oh.
I'm running.
That one's a different one, too. So then, the other thing they talk about is, at one point, before Shanks...
truffle.
Before the series starts, Red-haired Shanks, one of the 4 emperors, gets in a fight with Marshall D. Teach, and Marshall D. Teach leaves Shanks with a scar over his eye. The scar is 3 lines, kind of like a scratch mark or something, but more scarier. And people will use that evidence that it was specifically 3 lines as evidence of the Cerberus theory, because 3. And my argument to that is how, like, so he transforms into dog mode, which Shanks doesn't mention when he's talking to Whitebeard about it, and leaves 3 scratches on his face. Dogs pretty sure have more than 3 claws on each paw.
Well, we'll have to talk about that some other time, because that is an episode.